evening everyone, and welcome back to my life coaching tools and techniques. This evening I'd like to speak to everybody about how to unleash your unlimited potential. So the misconception with reaching your unlimited potential is thinking about being an expert in getting results, and that's just not the case at all. Of course, we want to get to the point where we're achieving our results, but actually there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that we need to work on in order to help us get the best of the results and really unleash that potential to give everything your all and to really get what you want out of it and have the outcome that you want to have. So what I'm going to be doing for you guys is breaking it down step by step in terms of how we reach the results that we want to have and how we really tap in to unleashing that potential within us. So the first thing that we need to have a look at is the beliefs in ourselves. Do you believe that you can achieve the things that you want to achieve? Say it be in a certain amount, it might be saving up for a house, it might be going for a job or a promotion, and really thinking about the things that you want to have. What belief do you have surrounding that? If the belief is that, oh, I want to go for it, but I think that person's going to get it, that belief in yourself can potentially stop you from even getting to the next step, which is applying for that particular job. So we have to think about the beliefs within ourselves and really making sure that that belief is real in order for us to do something about it. Now, how we look at our beliefs and make sure they're real is going to take a lot of work. So if you're constantly saying to yourself, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, that is going to override even if you tell yourself that you are good enough and that you could go for it, because that belief is stuck there and in your mind. Now, with beliefs like that, it's being able to ask if that belief is true and where that belief came from. So you might find that that particular belief came from someone from years and years ago that told you that you weren't worth it or weren't good enough, and you have to ask yourself, is that real? Am I really not good enough? Or is that somebody else's opinion that I've then taken on and chosen to believe because I've heard it so much? Then the next thing, after you've questioned it and asked where it's come from, is understanding, do I want to believe this? And if not, how do I start replacing that? So as an example, we'll go with the I'm not good enough again. So if you're constantly telling yourself you're not good enough, what can we replace that with in order to start believing that we are good enough? So first of all, I would ask myself, where else in life did I think I wasn't good enough? And actually it turns out that I was good enough, or I got the result that I wanted to have. So I wasn't very good at exams or anything at high school, but as I went throughout my journey through college and university, I then made it one of my achievements to make sure that I worked harder and I started achieving the things that I wanted to achieve. So that then started feeding back into that belief, and I had to tell myself that I could do it and that I had to take accountability for the things that I didn't do previously in order to help that belief. Okay, so a lot of telling myself that I could do it and that I'm going to work harder and this is going to happen. Again, forming that belief and really, gelling in with that belief and making it set home and making it an unconscious belief, because when it's unconscious, it's really set in stone. Whereas, again, at that subconscious level, if you're telling yourself, it doesn't necessarily mean that you believe it. So once you've had a look at understanding the belief and where it comes from, and realising that it's actually something that you want and where you've achieved it previously in your life, it then starts adding up and building evidence that you are worthy and that you are good enough. Also, think about when you're at the belief stage in terms of how many other people have achieved it. If it was something that was achieved by maybe one or two people, we might then say to ourselves, well, okay, it's only been done by a few. But actually, if that has been achieved by many of people, there is no reason that you can achieve that too. So again, that also helps in terms of that belief that if other people can do it, then I can do that too, and kind of really latching on to they've done it and I'm going to do it as well. So your belief is really a strong set behind everything that really kind of urges you to move forward and to start taking steps in terms of the direction that you want to go. And once you know your next step, that's when you start heading in that direction of reaching the part of your unlimited potential that's really going to give you fire. Okay, so the second step is that unleashing the unlimited potential. Now, for each person, it might be different. In my experience, what I found with my unlimited potential was almost like this ball of fire that was like sat in my stomach, in my midriff, in my heart, and it was like a surge of energy that had built up in my body that was like, you have to move, you've got to move, you've got to move now. Also, not just the energy that I felt in my body, but it made that belief and the things that I'd built to tell myself, building up that belief so that I could move with it, really kind of fed the energy more. Not only just feeding the energy a lot more, but I started to think about things a lot more. So when I was trying to go to sleep, it would be on my mind and I'd be thinking about it. I'd start to visualize it, which is another part of unleashing your unlimited potential, is really visualizing and seeing the outcome that you want to have. If you can see it in your mind, you can have it in your life. Think about what you see when you've got that physical outcome. What are people around you doing? What do you see? What do you hear? Hearing things is a really good thing to build up that experience and visualization. So it might be hearing people clapping, it might be hearing people say, well done, you know, you really deserve it. Or it might just be something that you say to yourself as well. Again, what do you feel? So again, energy within yourself. Really think about the outcome and think about that energy and allow that energy to just take over your body and really kind of bring this into fruition. Again, if you can see it, you can have it. And it's an amazing experience when you go from feeling it and just being excited about something to then visualizing it. And again, when that comes, that feeling will come flooding back as well. And also what you're doing there is you're kind of anchoring the state of what you want to have and really seeing it in future as well. So the next part is actually taking the action in terms of the direction that you want to go. So I always recommend with taking any type of action, really break it down into the steps of the things that you need to do. So it might be speaking to somebody who's been there and done that before and ask what they needed to do. Asking for people's help in terms of what do you think would be the right thing. If it's going for a particular job role, ask somebody who is in that role as well, so that you've got a bit of a heads up in terms of the kind of things that they might be looking for. Also think about what action can you be taking, not just when you're there in that moment, but beforehand. What work can you do? Is it research that you need to do beforehand? For example, again, if you're wanting to save for a house, what deposit do you need to kind of get there? In terms of it might be starting up a business. Again, who do you know who's done that? What kind of things can you research in the meantime? What things are available to you for you to be able to start taking action? And I know it doesn't feel like you're taking the action that's actually going to physically put you there, but all these tiny little steps that you guys are doing is going to get you there. And by breaking everything down and just working on every little bit that you can possibly work on is really going to help you guys in terms of achieving and taking the actions that you really, really want to have. And so the final step is starting to get the results that you guys desired and the results that you want to have. Now, with results, you will sometimes get really, really amazing results and you can go back and say, right, that's brilliant. what went well and going back over everything that you did and saying, okay, so I need to do this moving forward, and maybe I can apply that to the next thing that I want to achieve. And really kind of counting on the things that you know work for you. On the flip side of that, there's also sometimes where you don't quite get the results that you want, and it isn't that everything that you've done is a pile of crap. It's just the fact that it hasn't worked out in a particular way. Sometimes, again, going back to the belief thing, if you're still doubting yourself, and again that subconscious doubt is still there, maybe that held you back a little bit. So if you ever get the results and they're not the results that you want to have, or you're not as happy, have a look back and think to yourself, what could I do differently if I was to do it again? Also, when you get to the outcome, you also then have the hindsight of looking back and reflecting and saying, okay, moving forward, I need to try this, or if I could do it again, I'd try that. I didn't quite get that, but if I did a little bit of this and a little bit of that, what it's called is it's learning from your things and your experiences in terms of what you're doing. And if you look at the entirety of your life, that's what it's been about. We've been doing certain things and then looking back and reflecting, and it's not giving up and feeling like, right, that's it, I fail, I quit, hands up, you know, which we all do sometimes. But it's being able to take what we might see as failures and looking over them and saying, right, what can I learn from that? Because even when you have, again, a good or a bad experience, you should always go back and see what you can learn from, whether it's what did I do well, what could I do better, or what do other people do that are in that industry as well. Also, guys, when you get your results, celebrate your results. Celebrate and give yourself that time to say, you know, well done. Like, this is why I need to believe more in myself, because if I can do this and unleash that potential, I'm going to take more action, I'm going to get the results that I want. And again, when you get those results and the results start coming to fruition, and it might take a few times, it might happen first time, it might exceed your expectation, but feeding back in the cycle into your belief, your unlimited potential, the taking action and getting the results that you want to have. And again, not giving up, even if you feel like giving up and feeling like a failure. Have that day to yourself, have a good cry or a stomp or whatever else, and then go back, review it again, think about what you could do better, what you need to do more of. It might be working more on those beliefs and understanding again what those beliefs are and where they've come from that might be holding you back. Again, with beliefs, if you're inferior to certain things happening, you're less likely to take action, which means that you're less likely to unleash that potential and get the results that you guys want to get. So again, thinking about your beliefs, unleash that potential, feel the energy, really go for it, guys. Start taking action step by step, really give it everything you've got, little by little, and it will start to build up. Visualize everything, feel it, hear it, see it, get those results. Once you've got the results, go back, look over it. What went well, what didn't go well, what could I do better for next time? And really go out there and give everyone your unlimited potential. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Again, I'm on Instagram, Facebook and website, which I will share with you. Hope you all have a lovely evening. Thank you.